And plum.
Today, expecting lots of sunshine throughout the day, maybe a little breezy this afternoon. Otherwise, we'll see a high around 61. Tonight, mainly clear skies with an overnight low around 28. And tomorrow, more sunshine on the way. We'll see a high around 54. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. The week flying on by. Appreciate you hanging out with us on the happy hour. Nick Sainert and Rico with you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day?
So far, so good. It's another beautiful day out here in Lincoln. My back hurts, but we're good.
Why?
Because I slept on the floor in my daughter's room.
Okay. There you go. Perfect. Austin is also here.
Hello.
Are you ready for those days?
Yeah, I don't know. Yes and no.
Are you ready for how's dad life?
It's great.
It's good.
Took a nice little half an hour morning nap on the couch with Beckett today. It was great.
Nice.
I miss those days.
It was great.
You can't take a nap on the couch anymore?
I miss those days.
What days?
When you could just hold them and take a nap.
Oh.
Now they don't want to be held.
They don't want to
Or when they do.
Are they heavy enough to like crush your rib cage?
It's like a well, Ellie is. With KJ, it's just like a weighted blanket. But the problem is he goes, I want to cuddle. And so you're like, all right, cool. Like, awesome. I want to cuddle with you too. And you hold him. And then he's just like not sitting still. And his thing is that like when he wants to cuddle, he like has to be in like a certain position, and he'll like dig his forehead into like your shoulder and just keep moving until he gets in that spot. And it's never comfortable for you.
So he burrows like a cat.
And it's never comfortable for you.
KJ.
But as soon as he finds it, he lays there and you're just like, okay, now you have to wait until he like falls asleep. And it's terrible.
That's brutal.
But also it's amazing.
All right, well, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys the entire show for you today.
Can I tell one more KJ story?
How about this? Yes. Dalton says Rico only slept on the floor because he got into an argument with his wife.
No, it was my turn to sleep on the floor.
You don't have to lie to kick it, bro.
No, it was my turn to sleep on the floor.
You and Rachel good?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
I know you guys are. I know. And I wouldn't have asked that if there was actual serious concern.
So another
I mean, you don't ask somebody that might be in a string marriage like, hey, are you guys good?
Actually, thank you for asking.
Actually, can we go Can we go grab a cup of coffee, please?
Austin, you're here. You guys need
we gotta go.
One more KJ story. I don't know if I'm actually supposed to tell this story, but I'm going to anyways.
Wait, he and Rachel might have issues after this.
No, it's funny. I was at the volleyball match. Rachel was home with the kiddos, and she said yesterday when she was cleaning the bathroom, she kept hearing this like, you know the sound of like when you bite an apple?
Yeah.
She was like hearing that sound, and then and she's like, what is happening? So she goes in the living room, and KJ has this little foam basketball that we have.
Oh, no, he's eating the basketball?
No, he's just taking bites and spitting it out, and she goes, what are you doing? And he said... I want to make sure that I get how he said it, but he was like, I bite your ball. I bite the ball. And she goes, why? And he shrugs his shoulders and goes, oh, no, I bite the ball.
That's awesome. See,
KJ does not know ball.
Can you please bring KJ and Ellie to the pregame show Saturday?
Again, they might go to the wedding. With Rachel.
But they need
to
come
just went to a wedding.
The pregame show.
Not me.
Hey, it feels like Rico's making up weddings.
This one last
Rico's
week.
Too old to have like 4 or 5 weddings in a row.
You sure about that?
Seriously.
You're going to be 30.
So this last one was a former teammate of mine from UK. This one is a family member of Rachel's.
I see. Are you going up to Verdigris?
No, it's somewhere around here. I don't remember where.
Okay, I got you.
But they're going. I'm staying here.
You're not going. But
no.
you get a break from the kids.
Yeah. Nice. I don't say it that way. She might leave the kids with me.
Yeah, well, Rachel, leave the kids with Rico. He needs something to do.
Don't leave the kids with Rico. Leave the kids with Nick and Austin.
No,
I'm babysit at the station.
I'm busy Saturday night.
Bet.
And staying at the station.
Austin volunteers.
I'm busy.
Bet.
I'm busy
I just said for
Saturday
pregame.
night.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, I'm busy pregame. I'm busy on
You're
Saturday.
busy pre-gaming?
No.
Whatever, dude.
Anyway, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you. We're going to have a full show lined up. We'll be joined by Amie Just, the Lincoln Journal-Star, coming up at 1:30 to talk all things Husker. We can talk football. We can talk volleyball. We can talk men's and women's basketball with Amie. Just an all-around segment with Amie Just, the Lincoln Journal-Star, coming up in a little over a half an hour or so. We'll also dive in to a little Nebraska, Maryland. What did Matt Rule have to say about, 45 minutes ago, not even 35 minutes ago, about Nebraska and the Terps tomorrow? That's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Reminder, get your Peacock subscription if you want to watch it at home if you don't have it already. The reason, the reason we brought in Austin is just for the short segment here to talk Royals baseball. And people are going to freak out, the Royals, no, not baseball. Austin, you and I went through that last week.
That was this week.
Monday.
That was Monday.
That was Monday. How about this?
Twice in the same week. We got yelled at by the text line.
An incredible day in all of baseball on Monday. And then now it's all followed up with the Cubs are going to be the strongest team in on Shohei Ohtani because people believe that it's not about the dollars with Shohei Ohtani. They believe that there's a lot more in play. And now you have a manager that wins games in Craig Counsell. But nonetheless, so this article showed up on my athletic website today about Bobby Witt Jr. and if the Royals are going to offer him an extension. I also read another article today that said the Royals are aware that it's going to cost $200 million plus to sign Bobby Witt to an extension. And so I wanted to get our Royals fan in residence.
Is he worth it?
Yes.
Well, yes, he's worth it. But if you had to place or predict whether or not the Royals would be in on the Bobby Witt sweepstakes, what's your answer?
I'm going to take a big picture view of this. It's not free agency, right? But to sign Bobby Witt to an extension, you would be buying out some of free agency. So it's relevant to keep some of these numbers in mind. Right now, the largest free agent deal the Royals have ever given away is $18 million per year to Alex Gordon over 4 years. Homegrown guy, developed into a Gold Glove left fielder, heart and soul of the World Series teams with him through the lean years, all of that. And next biggest is $14 million. After that, it's $11 million. So Kansas City does not spend in free agency. That being said, we've talked about payroll numbers across the league, just how low Baltimore's payroll was. Kansas City's not far ahead of them in the upper 60s to lower 70s. So they could very comfortably afford to add $20+ million for Bobby Witt Jr. On an annual basis and still make some moves around the margins. The Royals were in the 110 millions. I don't know if they ever got over 125 million in keeping the crew together after the World Series runs. Got a little pricey there, but this is why I hope the Royals have learned a lesson. Everyone on those teams came up for free agency at the same time. Hosmer, Kane, Moustakas, Escobar, all those guys were, ready for new contracts at the same time. The Royals didn't extend a single one of them, didn't start negotiating with him. It was going to be hard with Hosmer as a Boris guy. I think Moustakas was a Boris guy too. He wants him to hit free agency. But look at what the Braves have done in offering their guys, like one guy an extension every year, so they don't come up at the same time. The Royals don't have enough guys to stagger year after year after year. So to me, that makes it even more important to go in on Bobby Witt Jr. They can comfortably afford it for a while. They can front load the deal now so he gets more of the guarantee up front, depending on how long it is, or lock him up for, buy out 1 or 2 years of free agency so he still gets to hit the market in his prime, see where you're at, see where he's at. There are a lot of creative ways that they can do it. There's no reason they shouldn't make a palatable offer. Not to say Bobby accepts it, but the Royals have no reason not to get creative and make a good enough offer.
I mean, here's another big picture thing with the Kansas City Royals. They just announced plans to make a $2 billion ballpark.
They did. Still don't know where it's going.
And you need to figure out a way to surround that with stars or fill it with stars.
You can't build a $2 billion ballpark and not have players.
Like you can't have Vinny Pasquantino be your face of your franchise. Like not that. And that's nothing against Vinny. That's nothing against Vinny.
Vinny's going to be better than David Ortiz, so he can be the face of the franchise.
Okay, so you can't have that's
kidding,
deep.
I
know,
Vinny,
but no, you get what I'm saying. No, you get what I'm saying is they need a Bobby Witt Jr. They need their Alex Gordon. Like who is going to be that face of the franchise for 10, 12 years? And by signing Bobby Witt, that would do it. You talked about the Braves, and I thought that was interesting. Just for like benchmarks, Bobby Witt only has about 2 years of service in Major League Baseball right now. Austin Riley from the Atlanta Braves, 10 years, $212 million. The Julio Rodriguez deal, when he had less than a year of service, was 12 years, $209 million.
And wildly creative in how they structured it.
Yes. And then how about this? The Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll, who we saw in the postseason, had less than 100 days of MLB service when they signed his deal, his extension, for 8 years, $111 million. So when you look at Bobby Witt, as he has over 2 years of service, you're going well into the 215, 220 range just because the market's skyrocketed.
And that's just guarantees, right?
Yeah.
That Julio number doesn't add on all the bonuses and the incentives that he can get if he performs at the level that they think he can. So there's that to keep in mind. The other thing that I think is going to complicate things for the Royals isn't necessarily the number itself. Like, yes, the number matters. He's going to want to make more.
Yeah.
But even the per year, what complicates things for the Royals is that Bobby Witt Jr. comes from a baseball family, right? Like he's set. His family is set because of his dad's major league career. So Bobby can afford to take his time. He's not looking to get the best deal as quick as he can. He can afford to wait and be patient. He has that professional management experience, a great team around him in terms of agents and getting the most for their guys. His dad's money and having been through that process before. So Bobby's in no rush to sign.
No. So yeah, once again, 402-464-5685. We got asked on the text line, Rico, to go down some of the Yankees' top targets in 2023 and 2024.
I don't know.
For free agency.
I have not been paying attention to them at all.
What if I told you that at number one on their list should be Cody Bellinger? It needs to be. It needs to be. They need a guy like Cody Bellinger. The Cubs
take advantage of the short porch.
It feels like the Cubs have somewhat moved on from him. It's really weird. And I'll say this, like, you can't go get Craig Counsell and then that be the only thing that you do. It can't be. You can't let that happen. So
do you think getting Craig Counsell with the roster that you currently have, if you're able to keep it together?
No, it's not good enough.
No.
You need arms and you need bats.
Well, part of the reason you get Craig Counsell is because he maximized the so-so roster in Milwaukee.
Yep.
But you're in a bigger market that's proven it's willing to spend before. So see what you can do with the full roster.
You need to prove that you can spend.
Go spend money on Shohei.
And I'm sure part of it was, hey, Craig, you come here, we'll spend. We'll get you a roster as long as if you say yes, right? Because you know darn well that the Mets have the money to pay a manager that amount. Multiple teams have money to pay a manager that amount. The 5 years, $40 million.
The Mets at the Yankees bench coach.
Exactly. So now what I would say is, if you're the Cubs, they've moved Christopher Morel to full-time first base, which is fascinating. Because you also traded for Jeimer Candelario at the trade deadline, who played a little first base. Morel's going to play first base, which opens up the outfield for PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. Well, then it's, where does Cody Bellinger fit in? Is it a right fielder? You felt like he was okay playing first base a little bit, but
not a good enough bat to just DH.
Not a good enough bat to just DH. So it feels like with the move from Morel to first base, that the Cubs are like, hey, we'll offer Belly a qualifying offer. If he says yes, great. He won't say yes. So it's going to be a situation of, all right, we'll just go our separate ways. So now what, right? If you're the Cubs, you have to go in on this big fish. You have to go in on the Shohei Ohtani. You have to get a starting pitcher that can get you going right out of the gates, that can get you 5-6 innings almost every single start. at least have it, identified as a quality outing, quality start for the starting pitcher. Because like Kyle Hendricks isn't the answer anymore. You can't velocity rules in today's game. You have to go out and get a hard throwing pitcher, whether it's a southpaw, whether it's a righty. I don't care. You need to figure out a way to get a quality starter.
Is it Yamamoto that's being posted from Japan?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so Yamamoto, I mean,
I know
they're
obviously there. A target for the Yankees. Everybody is. He said he wants to play in a big market.
Yeah, he's been the talk for the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs. I read yesterday, but then also the Mets as well. But
does he not know that Kansas City is also a big market?
He is not a big market.
What is he doing? They're about to have a new ballpark.
If Shohei comes to Kansas City, so will Yamamoto.
Hey,
book it.
Seattle is
Shohei. I mean, you want to talk about being able to sell tickets in a new ballpark? Assign Shohei, Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Look, Seattle's like a sleeper for both of those guys.
Patrick Mahomes, use a little bit of your money out of your contract as a minority owner of the Royals and say, you know what? Here, Shohei, have some of mine.
Brett Veach, can you be on the practice squad?
Yeah, that's all it needs. That's all you need. So once again, 402-464-5685. That's going to do it for our baseball corner. Huge thanks to Austin for coming in and hanging out. Always a blast to talk baseball. Somebody on the text line says, I look for the young upstart Cincinnati Reds to win the NL Central. They might. If Ellie De La Cruz continues his surge, right?
Trade Jonathan India to Kansas City.
There you have that. Hunter Green is a really, really strong and young starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. I believe they moved on from Joey Votto.
Yes.
They moved on from
Lodolo's there.
Yeah. So they moved on from Joey Votto. A couple other baseball news just on the side. Phillies are open to trading Nick Castellanos here in the offseason. So that'll be interesting to see if Castellanos, who once again got his resurgence in Chicago.
Yeah, because a lot of things were happening.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, a lot of bad things were happening.
And they were just like, all right, Nick.
Yep, as Castellanos hits one over the left field wall.
Make it
anyway,
ball game.
Yeah, exactly. I consider myself a man of faith. Anyway,
deep fly ball.
Man, that's so sad. All right, let's take our break. We'll wrap this hour up on the noon side and come back with hour number one, the 1 o'clock hour, as we dive into Husker football. A little bit of what Matt Rule said earlier today, because there was a couple interesting things regarding injuries, regarding guys that are back and guys that are not even close to being back. He touched on all of that. We'll also be joined by Amie Just of the Lincoln Journal-Star at 1:30 to talk a lot of Husker volleyball, probably quite a bit Husker women's basketball as well, but then we'll probably mix in some men's and football as well in that conversation in the 1:30 segment, and then only to bring Austin and Strick back in as we close it out in the 1 o'clock hour. You're listening to the Happy Hour. It's a Thursday right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
School taught you all about the 4 seasons, spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons. Football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com. So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's The Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, The Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Power combo BOGO? Huh?
Yes, if you purchase an air conditioner, you receive a furnace completely free. At John Henry's, our professionals want to ensure you are comfortable in your home all year long, no matter what Nebraska has to throw at us. Call today to schedule your free estimate and learn more about the free furnace waiting for you. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com. It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Celebrate Thanksgiving this year with Venue Restaurant and Lounge and Venue at Home with our Thanksgiving to-go meal packages. Our packages include sliced turkey breasts and roasted gravy, herb stuffing, Yukon Gold mashed potatoes, a harvest salad, and more, with add-on options to upgrade your feast including smoked ham, prime rib, sides, appetizers, and desserts. You choose delivery right to your home or pick up at our Venue at Home storefront. Order today at holidaysbyvenue.net. That's holidaysbyvenue.net.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The holidays are right around the corner. This is a great year to give your family and loved ones a gift of shoes to encourage them to stay active. Fleet Feet Lincoln fits you properly for shoes, and they offer a free group that meets 3 days a week, plus other training programs and a walking group on Mondays. Get healthy, stay healthy with proper shoe wear from Fleet Feet Lincoln and a group of friends that will support you and keep you accountable. Start your health adventure at Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour, the 1 o'clock hour. Here we are, Nick and Rico hanging out with you. 402-464-5685. The Honda Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. Nebraska basketball, this is kind of going, not really talked about a whole lot here. Nebraska basketball does play a game tonight against Florida A&M. This Florida A&M team lost, or I should say got stomped by Creighton earlier in the week. Creighton actually used a 35-6 run to then eventually break out to like a 54-22 lead at half. It was not even close for Creighton and Florida A&M. Now Florida A&M stays in Nebraska as they continue their in-state tour, and now they'll travel to Lincoln tonight to play against the Huskers.
That's pretty smart. Smart
honestly,
scheduling.
very, very much so. You get paid a couple $1,000, couple $100,000
just to hang out in Nebraska. It's actually good weather. You're not having to worry about it snowing and being
like
windy
Florida.
and cold. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're in Florida.
You're in home.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Florida A&M Rattlers.
Nice. Good job, Rico. The Florida A&M Rattlers.
Sometimes I remember things.
Nice work.
Shout out to NCAA
2012.
So when you had to take the classes, I always took the mascot class because it was the easiest.
Florida A&M Rattlers. So no, they'll come to town tonight. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. between the Rattlers and the Huskers. Nebraska looking to improve to 2-0 on the young season. They'll be without a couple of their guys. I would not expect a Keisei Tominaga to play tonight. We know Juwan Gary's not going to play tonight as well.
No Blaze Cada.
There's also not really a reason to force them back early.
No, you're
like that's a luxury of this season.
Yeah,
here.
honestly, putting a positive spin on it, it's good because you get to see what you have with the rest of the team. Mm-hmm. Where you're without Ramel, you're without Keisei, you're without Juwan, so you can see what the rest of the team has. With Blaze, you were going to see what the other bigs had anyways, because they were going to be swapping in and out anyways. But with these guys, obviously they'd still be playing, but you're able to see more of what the team can offer. You're able to see, without Ramel running the show, if he ends up being the starting point guard, which I assume he's going to be, you can see what Jamarcus Lawrence has running the show. You can, you have Rink Mass bringing the ball up the court from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you get that ability to see the rest of Nebraska's basketball team in action without a Keisei Tominaga, because you know what he's going to give you when he comes back. He's going to give you all of that shooting, all of that off-ball movement, so you'll be able to get a couple more passes in there towards him. But without him in there, it forces somebody else to move without the ball. It forces other people to be, step up their shooting game, and you can see exactly what some of these guys have.
Yeah, so once again, the game tonight is on Big Ten Plus, and obviously Strick will be on the call there.
Stricky.
So make sure you tune in to Big Ten Plus if you are not going down to Pinnacle Bank Arena. Once again, this just comes from the release. The tip-off between the Huskers and the Rattlers set for 7 p.m. You can grab your tickets on Huskers.com. They come off of an 84-52 win over Lindenwood on Monday night. They put 5 players in double figures, led by Sam Hoiberg and his 15-point performance off the bench. The Huskers shot 57% from the floor including 9 3-pointers in that first half. So, I mean, Nebraska just started out really, really well. And what I would say, the Rattlers, I actually just about an hour and a half ago went back and watched the Florida A&M Creighton game, and Florida A&M jumped out to like a 10-4 lead over Creighton. Now, Fred Hoiberg said this yesterday that both teams have exchanged film so that you're going to have a little bit more on each team. But Nebraska, same thing as what kind of we talked about on Monday, excuse me. Don't let them stay around. Don't let them hang around because this is now once again another team where it's like you should have that 75 to 35, 75 to 45 type of advantage with just a few minutes left, and you should be not coasting, but on your way to victory.
Yeah, you kind of want to put this game, get this not out of hand, but just kind of out of reach for the most part early. You want to jump out to a big lead, and then, as you said, not coast, but just kind of ride the wave of momentum and ride the wave of your play into a hopefully comfortable win against Florida A&M. But you also heard from Fred Hoiberg talking about that Rattlers and Creighton game that Creighton's really freaking good.
Creighton is really good. Really good. Their one question, I think, when you look at Creighton is at the 4 spot, they lost Arthur Kaluma, who had a really tough outing for Kansas State in his first game. He shot 1 of 11 from the field in his first game, just scored 6 points for the Wildcats down, led by Jerome Tang and company against number 21 USC on Monday night. But he had a tough start in his first game as a Kansas State Wildcat. So the one question with the Creighton Blue Jays is who's going to be our 4, right? They added a couple really talented transfer portal guys, and we'll talk about them more as we go on. But Stephen Ashworth from Utah State's a really good guard. Obviously, they added Isaac Trout who originally is from Grand Island, but started his career at Virginia. So we'll talk more about the Creighton Blue Jays in the coming weeks when Nebraska gets ready to face them on December 3rd.
Can we all admit that Isaac Trout going to Virginia was a weird fit?
Not necessarily. See, I understand
that but I know that he plays solid defense, but when I think about Virginia, and I understand they're getting top tier talent, but a guy that scores as effectively, as easily as Isaac Trout did, going to a team that is going to beat teams, 50 to 32, didn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, I think when you look at just what he did at Virginia, it wasn't a lot as much as you would think on the offensive end. He redshirted the 2022 and 2023 season, or excuse me, redshirted the 2021-2022 season, but then obviously was allowed to practice. But I mean, when you looked at and watched him in high school, he had to do a lot of the scoring. Mm-hmm. But being at 6'10", 235, I mean, he's a big body.
Yeah, that
can affect some guys down low. And so I think I'm more disappointed he chose Creighton over Nebraska, because that's another one though that you look at, just having the size and the length would be beneficial for Nebraska.
Would have been nice.
We saw on Monday just the advantage that and the benefit having guys like Rink Mass and Josiah Alec down low can do, and they moved really well for how big they are. I'm excited to see them again tonight. Now, second game in a row.
If you bring Isaac Trout to Nebraska, which one of the transfers are you not bringing in?
More than likely Rink. And I know you'd probably be disappointed.
I would be sad.
You'd probably be sad in that.
Well, I wouldn't be sad because I wouldn't know Rink, so it'd be fine.
You wouldn't know the Dunking Dutchman.
I wouldn't, and that would be heartbreaking.
The Dunking Dutchman, one of our favorites.
Or maybe you do bring him in. You bring both of them in. You don't bring in Aaron Eulis. Then you don't have to worry about the gambling thing. I mean, he might not play this season anyway.
You still need a point guard. Nebraska, though, just to kind of give an outlook of their schedule really quickly as we get ready for break. Florida A&M tonight, Ryder on Monday. They're playing in this thing called the Cornhusker Classic. It's at Pinnacle Bank Arena. It feels a lot like the Battle at the Vault last year.
You think we can get courtside seats again?
Potentially.
You think you can have Casey shoot a 3 for us again?
I would love that. I forgot Casey pointed. No, he didn't point back. He didn't.
We wanted him
the issue.
We wanted
I pointed at him,
but
he didn't point back.
You yelled at him. You said, shoot. I mean, it's not like he's not going to anyways. You were like, shoot a 3, and immediately comes off the screen, shoots the 3, and just drains it from the top of the key.
There it is. I pointed at him. He didn't point back.
We pointed at him, and we celebrated.
Yeah. So Florida A&M tonight, Ryder on Monday in the Cornhusker Classic, Stony Brook on next Wednesday in the Cornhusker Classic, then a neutral site game in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the Sanford Pentagon against Oregon State. Come back home for Duchesne. And then it's Cal State Fullerton on Sunday, November 26th. There's a way here where I say you feel pretty good about Nebraska's chances to go, what was that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-0 prior to a Sunday, December 3rd at 3 p.m. matchup against Creighton, against top 10 Creighton at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You feel pretty good about your chances.
Dumb question. Gonna ask it anyways, because why the hell not?
It's not no-sit Sunday.
No. Nebraska goes 7-0. Beats Creighton.
They're in the top 25.
Not handily.
They're in the top
anything.
25.
Are they? Like, are they in the top 25 or are they receiving votes? Well, they were already receiving votes, weren't they? I thought they might have been. I could be wrong.
Who knows? But I mean, you talk about the potential.
Number 25, Nebraska in men's basketball.
Have they been ranked under Fred Hoiberg?
No.
I'm pretty sure there was one.
I don't think so.
With Isaiah, with Isaiah Roby with Tim Miles.
Yeah, that would have been like his first year when they were just like, it's Fred Hoiberg, let's rank him, because after that, there's no way they were ever
because I'm
ranked.
pretty sure the game that Nebraska played Kansas at home, that was not Fred Hoiberg, I don't think. Because that would have been Isaiah Roby. This is too bad we don't have Austin.
Yeah, Austin would know. The text line knows.
The text line certainly knows. 402-464-5685.
That wasn't that long ago.
When Kansas came to Nebraska.
Roby wasn't on that team.
Maybe I'm thinking Deshaun Burke.
That was definitely Fred.
That's Kansas State. 73-72. Nope, 2017. That would have been Tim.
Okay.
That would have been Tim Miles. Nebraska.
Oh, because that was the season where it was looking back at that Kansas game where if they win that, they had moderate success throughout the rest of the season. If they win that, it was not telling where they would have been at the end of the season.
Yeah, this is brutal. Excuse me.
Isn't that
Kansas had
Kailuk?
Yep. Kansas also had Azubuike. They had Graham. Nebraska had Roby, who came off the bench, dropped 8 points in 30 minutes off the bench for Nebraska. Isaac Copeland, Glenn Watson Jr., Evan Taylor, James Palmer Jr., who led the Huskers in scoring with 14.
So
and then who was the center? The center? Tell me who the center was.
Yeah, it's somebody I should know, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is somebody that you should know.
Is it old boy at Grand Canyon? No, it's not.
It is not
Is
Ivan.
it?
He ended up transferring to Dayton.
Oh, I hate myself.
It is.
I know the name.
Jordy
Shimanga.
There it is.
I thought he was going to be so good.
They also had a fellow by the name from Winthrop, Dubio KK. Dubio KK was in this game. Let's see, who is this? Tom Allen was on this team for Nebraska.
My name texter says Nebraska won the volleyball national title that night. Was that what year?
2017.
2017. So that was Florida in Kansas City.
In this game also, so Roby had 8 off the bench. Dubio KK was scoreless. Tom Allen had 13 for the Huskers off the bench. And then a gentleman by the name of Anton Gill. He transferred from Kansas, didn't he?
No, James Palmer transferred.
No, James Palmer transferred from Miami. You had Andrew White III, who transferred from Kansas to then Syracuse. Anton Gill, I'm pretty sure, also transferred from Kansas.
You don't have to tell us Dubio KK was scoreless.
Hey, Dubio KK, man. Come on.
I mean, they're not
You're
wrong.
not wrong.
But it's still mean.
Yeah, Corey and Lincoln's absolutely right. That Kansas game on it was on December 16th, 2017, was the official Scott Frost introduction night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. He came out, waved to the crowd, said some words at halftime. He because he got hired on December 2nd, 2017, but he still had to coach UCF.
I I was right. It was Nebraska over Florida.
Nice.
In Kansas City.
There you go.
Most
So
outstanding
Anton Gill.
player, Michaela Fecki.
Yeah.
And Kelly Hunter. There
Yeah.
were two? There were two.
So, and I was wrong about Anton Gill. Louisville.
there we
He
go.
transferred from Louisville. I just looked up his week. Oh, thank you, Willie. You called it. Texted in right as I said it.
Dang, this was a stacked Final Four. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the volleyball thing now.
All right, let's take a break. We gotta
Hold
go.
on,
We gotta get to Amie.
I know. Hold on. Nebraska, Florida, Penn State, Stanford.
Loaded.
That's a stacked Final Four.
Loaded. This is fun. I should do on the drive throwback football. Now we can do throwback basketball games.
Perfect.
What? It's not going to be good. None of them are all ever good.
They're not going to be great, but we're going to do it.
Look at the rosters as well.
Hell yeah.
Who led Nebraska in scoring?
Oh, that'd be a good question.
This would be good. Hold on.
We should find something to give away.
Nebraska. Hold on. We can figure this out real quick.
Hey, we have to get to Amie.
Easy.
Yelled at me.
Yeah. Well, the rules don't apply.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
my bad.
I'm joking. I'm completely joking. Let's see if Nebraska ended up having a game last year on Thursday, November 9th.
No.
They did not.
No.
That's sad.
Tragic.
They beat Omaha tomorrow. A year ago tomorrow, they beat Omaha 75-61.
There we go.
All right, let's get out of here. Amie Justin, Lincoln Journal Star, joins us next to talk all things Huskers and pretty much every single sport. Volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and football. We'll do that with Amie of the Lincoln Journal Star coming up next.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through November 14th is spend $40 and you'll get to buy one, get one free on 8-ounce prepackaged sirloins. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
The holidays are right around the corner. This is a great year to give your family and loved ones a gift of shoes to encourage them to stay active. Fleet Feet Lincoln fits you properly for shoes, and they offer a free group that meets 3 days a week, plus other training programs and a walking group on Mondays. Get healthy, stay healthy with proper shoe wear from Fleet Feet Lincoln and a group of friends that will support you and keep you accountable. Start your health adventure at Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's The Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, The Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico with you. We're going to get to the Allo VIP line here in a second. So before the break, we talked about, hey, you know what? Let's just go back on each day and see a Nebraska basketball final, right? Well, I think we're going to change that up and not do it because 2 years ago today, Nebraska men's basketball lost 75-74 to Western Illinois at home. This was a team that, once again, in front of 15,312 Husker fans, fell at the hands of Western Illinois 75-74 on Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Nebraska was down by one at halftime. And both of the teams scored 42 in the second half. And in this game also, Bryce McGowan's had 25 points. Alonzo Verge Jr. had 26. So those two players combined for 51 of Nebraska's 74 points.
Yeah, that checks out.
For the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So let's just not do that anymore.
On that note,
we're not going to do that anymore. 402-464-5685. Let's go to the Allo VIP line. The Allo VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. A lot of things going on in Husker athletics right now. Nebraska volleyball beats Northwestern. Nebraska women's basketball getting ready for a road game at Wyoming tomorrow night. Men's basketball hosts the Rattlers of Florida A&M this evening. And Nebraska football hosts Maryland on Saturday. And for all that, we bring in Amie Just of the Lincoln Journal-Star. Amie, how's life treating you as it's crossover season with football, basketball, and volleyball?
And how dare you forget soccer?
That's a good point.
Doing?
Tomorrow night,
What are
South
we
Dakota
doing?
State.
Wow,
I know.
Nick. Wow, Nick.
I know.
You're a monster.
I know. But how's life?
Busy, super busy, but good. I was originally hoping that maybe that soccer match could be Sunday so I could take in some wrestling on Friday, but that is just the way this time of year goes. You can't be in two places at once, even if you want to.
Amie, is there any sport that you don't cover?
I have not covered gym, men's or women's, yet since I've been here. Haven't covered cross country since I've been here. Trying to think. Haven't written about bowling or rifle or swimming. But I'm open to it. I'm always taking story suggestions.
Well, Amie, let's talk about the impact on signing day yesterday with Nebraska women's basketball, obviously headlined by Britt Prince, but Amaya Hargrove is really fascinating, as well as Kennedy Williams. But then also for men's basketball, they get a really, really good shooter in Nick Janowski from the state of Wisconsin, and they have Braden Frager end up reclassifying. Let's focus on the women's basketball aspect of it. Not only Britt Prince, but Amaya Hargrove. How important was yesterday's signing class for Amie Williams as they continue to recruit really well? They got Natalie Potts and Logan Nisley last year, both the players in their respective states, the player of the year in their respective states. Talk about what women's basketball is doing on the recruiting trail and how impressive it is.
Yeah, Britt Prince is the highest rated recruit that Amie Williams has brought in during her time here. And I mean, she's highly rated for a reason. I think Britt Prince could come in immediately and make an impact, a really big one. And I'm really excited just to see what the chemistry will look like between her and Amaya. But the thing I don't want to get lost in this is just what Kennedy adds to. Like, yes, she's Amy's daughter, but she's really, really good. And I think played a really big role in Britt's recruitment. And I think that, once all of them are said and done, I think that they're going to be remembered as really key figures in program history. I think Kennedy Williams will be a glue gal for them. Just knowing who her parents are and the roles that they have played. Yeah, I'm really excited for the future that these guys have. All really, really great players, good people, and I'm excited to work with them more.
Now, Amie, one more on women's basketball before we talk about the volleyball match last night. When you look at this year for Nebraska women's basketball, they have obviously led by Jazz Shelley, but then they have Darian White and Alexis Markowski, who are really big pieces to this team as well. What should fans know about this Nebraska women's basketball team as it's still early in the season, and they're going to have themselves quite a little bit of a tougher challenge tomorrow against the Wyoming Cowgirls?
Yeah, I think that they're going to be exciting to watch. I think they're really going to try to set the tone early, and I don't think they're going to live and die by the three, but they're not going to be afraid to chuck it up there either. I mean, you look at Logan Nisley and how many 3-point attempts she had the other night. I think the lid will come off for her eventually. Jazz kept telling her to shoot it, and she was totally okay with that. So yeah, I really like what they have. I really want Maddie Kroll to be able to get back as soon as possible. So I think she's a really important piece of this team too. So it will be interesting to see when Maddie gets to come back. Amie wasn't so sure earlier in the week on that one, but yeah, I like what they showed so far. But yeah, one game in, so trying not to read too much into one game,
We're speaking with Amie Just of the Lincoln Journal-Star, and before we get to last night's match, I just want to hit on a little bit of the volleyball recruiting. We asked Coach Cook in the post-game presser about Olivia Mock and Skylar Pierce, and I don't know, this is my first time around him when we were talking about recruits, but when he was asked about Skylar Pierce, he lit up in a way that I haven't seen him light up before, and he just talked glowingly not only about her play on the court, but just her as a person. Like, could you talk a little bit about Skylar Pierce?
Yeah. I haven't had the opportunity to watch her in person, but I can't wait until the time that I get to do that. Everything I've read, everything I've seen, just speaks to just the level of athlete that she is. I mean, and John was glowing about that last night too. And with coaches, whether that be volleyball, football, whatever, like coaches love athletes that play more than one sport. Matt Rule has, glowed about those types of guys. And I think the same is true here. Like, she could do anything and be good at anything, right? If she wanted to play college basketball, she probably could play college basketball, like wherever she wanted to go, right? So it's just these types of kids, they're fun for the coaches to have because they're just so invested in everything that they do. And she's going to be fun. I have no idea what the roster is going to look like next year because they have no seniors and they have, some freshmen coming in. So things are going to have to move around a little bit. But for now, that is a future problem, not a now problem.
Now, Nebraska last night battled past Northwestern 3-1. We noticed it early. It was a little sleepy inside the Bob Devaney Sports Complex out there before the match, and even during it, it was a strange, eerie feeling around with the fan base kind of sitting on their hands, and then the play on the court kind of mirrored that. Just a sloppy game, according to John Cook, where they lost focus. I mean, could you speak a little bit on what you saw during the game and what may have changed in order for them to get things right?
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, it was really quiet during the first set. Like, I could hear myself typing, which that never happens, ever. Like, I only got one, like, you're in a loud environment notification on my watch yesterday. Normally, my watch is constantly buzzing that we're over 9 decibels. But, yeah, it was weird. And then the play was really weird. Like, they didn't look like themselves. They weren't really communicating super well, it looks like. A lot of balls just dropped, which hasn't happened for them this year. So it is a little concerning that that's happening now. Luckily for them, they grinded out the win, but you can't lose focus like that, especially at this stage in the season. But yeah, it was very strange. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it was definitely really weird.
I guess, Amie, that's like last night's not the first time that we've seen them come out a little lackluster, right? It was back in Purdue. They started out a little slow. Obviously, the match against Penn State, they started out slow and just not as smooth or as effective as they normally are. And then last night against Northwestern, 2 of those that I mentioned against ranked opponents. Last night against Northwestern, not a ranked opponent. I mean, how much do we read into this? I mean, because in the postseason, we know there's going to be ruckus environments. The energy in the building is going to be there. But at the end of the day, Nebraska needs to take care of business no matter where they're playing. And there's been a couple scares this season.
Yeah. I'm not reading into it yet, but if they come out the same way on Sunday, then we might have a problem. I get it. Like, it's been a long year for this group between going from beach, going into spring, getting a little bit of a break before you do the international trip to Brazil, then, basically straight into the fall season. So, look, I get it. I can totally understand why there might be a little lack of focus, just because they have been dialed in for so long. But you gotta fix that. And I would imagine that practice this week that's going to be a key, is figuring out how to get them back focusing and getting them back on the page that they need to be.
We're speaking with Amie Just of the Lincoln Journal-Star. And Amie, somebody who, despite the weird play, had a really nice match was Becca Alec, who tied a season best with 11 kills, hit over 500, had 7 blocks. As the season has progressed, she has gotten better, gotten kind of more to her, freshman self, where she was playing loose and free and just being a problem in the middle. How important is it for Nebraska to get this version, last night's version of Becca Alec, where, they set the middle a lot more and she has more attempts and actually puts those kills down. How important is it for Nebraska going forward to get that version of Becca?
Absolutely. It is incredibly important. They need to distribute the ball to the middle more, like even more than they did last night. Like Bergen needs to keep setting the middle because it's there. And it's not just there with Becca, it's there with Andy too. And so, I mean, both of them had really good nights. So yeah, they just need to keep setting the middle more, especially when it's there like it was last night. Yes, you have, your old reliables on the outsides with Harper and with Merritt, but when you have an attack like that where you can consistently go to any one of them, like that's so dangerous for the postseason because other teams aren't going to know what you're going to do instead of figuring out, it's going to go to either one of two people. Like they just need to get the middles involved more. And you saw that a little bit last night, but they still could have been involved a little bit more.
Yeah, Nebraska, they host Illinois on Sunday, and as you mentioned, we'll see how they come out and respond on Sunday afternoon. Okay, now let's flip the switch really quickly, I guess, as we go to football. Matt Rule spoke to the media earlier today ahead of Maryland. That game kicks off 11 a.m. on Peacock, so get your subscriptions if you haven't quite yet. I guess, Amie, when you look at this Maryland team, they pose a couple different challenges for Nebraska than maybe they've seen in the recent weeks, and it all starts with the quarterback. They're going to face one of the more experienced quarterbacks in the conference, one of the better quarterbacks in the conference, and I think you could argue between Tunga Viola and J.J. McCarthy, those are two of the best, but we know how Nebraska handled J.J. McCarthy, and it wasn't the greatest. How much concern is there for this defense, and specifically the passing defense, when it's going to be a pretty nice day on Saturday, and Maryland has been able to throw the ball around, pretty well this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be my pregame advance column is that if they don't figure out Talia, it's game over. Like, he is such a game changer for them. He has, yes, Maryland has lost like 4 in a row or whatever, but like he's still playing way better than most of the quarterbacks that Nebraska has seen this season outside of J.J. McCarthy and Colorado's quarterback, Usher Sanders. So, and we both know how both of those games went. Yeah. So, but I will say that this defense has gotten a lot better in the weeks since that they have played them. Granted, a little bit of a regression with some allowed explosive plays last week, to which Tony White called bullcrap. That's not sanitized. That is exactly what he said. So it's going to be of the utmost concern for this defense, especially just knowing the explosives they allowed last week and just knowing what Talia has proven that he can do. That's going to be the key number one for this defense, is keeping him in the pocket and hopefully getting to him. And if they don't, then their pass defense in terms of like the back end with their defensive back might have a long day.
We're hanging out with Amie Just, Lincoln Journal-Star. Last one before we go ahead and let you go. Switching over to the offensive side of the ball, we know the Heinrich Haarberg struggles that Nebraska's endured, that Heinrich's endured, and they've gotten sometimes worse, I think, over these last couple of weeks, especially. I've said all this week that it feels like it's a different Heinrich Haarberg than the one we saw against Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech. I don't know if you'd agree with that one, but it just seems like he's a little off. Okay, so explain that. I guess where's your head at on that?
Well, they're game planning for him now.
Yeah,
they know his tendencies. In those first 2 games, they didn't really know what he was going to do because there wasn't any film on him. So, and now he's thinking more than he was. Now defenses know his tendencies a little bit better because there's more film to watch on him, so they can read him a little bit better. And, there are injuries abound around him. So he's getting used to a new offensive line. He is playing against defenses that know who he is and aren't, surprised by what he's doing. So, but yes, he does look a little different in some aspects. I'll give you that, but not entirely. Like, I just think that guys are game planning for him more, and he's in his own head.
Well, and that's what I think they are. I mean, they're facing better opponents too. I mean, just simply put, they're facing much better opponents and defenses than against Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech. I guess, okay, so looking forward to tomorrow, or excuse me, Saturday, Saturday.
Don't put that on me, man. I'm not ready for that.
No, I know. Tell me about it. No, but looking forward to Saturday. I mean, what does Nebraska's offense need to look like? Because, I mean, there's a way that Nebraska's defense can hold a potentially high-powered Maryland offense to 17 or around that number. But I'm not sure there's a whole lot of confidence in Nebraska's offense to score that much.
There isn't. I don't have the confidence in that. Like, they need to stop turning the ball over. Every media person in this market has said this on every radio hit that they have done since the dawn of the first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They need to stop turning the ball over. Period. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, we're not allowed into practice, so we don't see that the work that they're doing there. They say they're doing the work, but if you're doing the work and the problems still continue, are you doing the work? So, or maybe you just need to do more on it. My keys for them, obviously, number one, limit the turnovers. And number two, get Emmett Johnson more involved. Run him more. He has done really, really well as of late. Every time he touches the ball, it feels like he goes for at least 3 or 4 yards. So getting him more involved, but also spreading things out a little bit more, I think would be good. But then again, Heinrich's got to make those throws. Like when he overthrew Malachi last week, that was rough. And then when he overthrew Thomas Fedoni, like that was rough too. Like, how do you overthrow Thomas Fedoni? He's huge.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, that one throw that he made to Malachi Coleman in zone coverage last week was incredible. So, like, we know he can do it. He just needs to figure out how to do that at a more consistent basis.
It's interesting that you brought up Emmett Johnson. And last thing before we let you go, because Matt Rules said today something interesting where he said something along the lines, and please correct me if I'm wrong or alter this. It was basically like the more Emmett Johnson does well, the more he's going to play. But it seems like over these last couple of weeks, there's been a lot that Emmett Johnson has done well. And yet there's no real method to the madness of when they bring Emmett Johnson out or when they bring Anthony Grant out. There was an instance on Saturday in East Lansing where he put together a couple really nice runs in a row. And I don't know if it's fatigue or if it's just the substitution planning, but they brought Anthony Grant in and they ended up losing like 2 yards on 2 consecutive plays. It just doesn't feel like there's full trust in Emmett Johnson, or just the feeling that they can really just let him off his leash and let him go.
Well, they need to let him off his leash because that's the one thing that's working right now. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but if I'm armchair coaching the situation, they need to let him off his leash and just let him go and see what happens.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
their best chance of success right now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Husker fans. We just got a text on our text line that says "Feed Emmett," and so I think there's a lot of Husker fans. There's a lot of Husker fans that feel that way in surrounding Husker football. All right, Amie, appreciate the time as always. We'll definitely talk to you down the road, and we'll probably see you tonight at PBA.
I will be there. Thanks,
awesome.
Guys.
There she is, Amie Just of the Lincoln Journal-Star. Appreciate her time as always. Joining us on the Allo VIP line spots. Brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Let's take our final timeout. Brett Bielema, just a little over an hour ago, had a really interesting quote over the Connor Stallions situation at Michigan. And I want to play it for Austin, Rico, and Strick when we come back as we get you ready for On the Block right here on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The holidays are right around the corner. This is a great year to give your family and loved ones the gift of shoes to encourage them to stay active. Fleet Feet Lincoln fits you properly for shoes, and they offer a free group that meets 3 days a week, plus other training programs and a walking group on Mondays. Get healthy, stay healthy with proper shoe wear from Fleet Feet Lincoln and a group of friends that will support you and keep you accountable. Start your health adventure at Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you. When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go big Brand.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into the happy hour as we get you ready for On the Block with Strick and Austin. We bring those two guys in. What's up, gentlemen?
Good to be back.
Oh, Strick doesn't have a microphone. He's not even
Just yell.
ready. He's not even ready
Just yell.
to go.
You're on the floor in MSG, Stricky. Just yell.
He's not even ready to go.
I'm ready, my boy.
How we doing, Stricky?
Are you talking about MSG? It's not as big as I thought it was.
MSG is a very dense spot. It's dark too. It's kind of got a dark flow in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Pretty
should have
cool.
told. Somebody should have told Wemby.
Wait a minute. So we got a text on the text line. It says, "Do you guys like vodka? Bringing you something here in a minute."
I like it.
I'm sorry.
So
What?
Stricky.
Is it Thursday?
Stricky, it is. You're sticking around?
Thursday.
You sticking around? Come on, Stricky.
I got a little bit of time. I can stick around, but I can't go hard like I normally would. So I got to get on the freaking air.
You're always on the air when on Thursday.
Yeah, but this is more important.
It's a different type of air.
Okay, so I want to talk about this, guys, really quickly, because Brett Bielema was asked about the Michigan situation, and I sent this to Austin and Rico in our little Twitter group chat thingy. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on it because I thought this was one of the most well-handled answers to this whole thing that we've seen. We've seen the outlash from Ryan Walters. Obviously, Matt Rule's been asked about it. It's been handled somewhat well. I mean, it's been handled well by a lot of coaches, but Brett Bielema gives about a minute 45 answer of like in-depth coaches, and then also an example of from his days playing against Pat Fitzgerald in Northwestern. Fascinating example going on here about integrity and with the Big Ten football. Let's hear what Brett Bielema has to say.
Yeah, I appreciate the question. Obviously, we don't play them this year, so I haven't really. You just get so consumed where you're at. But listen, when the point in time comes where I can say something, I'll have a lot to say. I went in this conference. I played in this conference. I coached in this conference at two different schools.
Sure.
I remember being in this league as a head coach at another place where I literally got a call from a coach the day after we played him. They called our people during the course of the game. It was Fitz at Northwestern. We're in a home contest there, and he called me and said, yesterday we had a chance that your signals were coming over our headsets. He told his people to put them down, change the channel, and competed in the game, right? And I thought the highest moment of integrity, here's a moment, right? And what's being discussed said, I don't really know anything more than what I know. It's kind of, I said this a couple weeks ago. These stories are always so much better when you're not in it because we don't obviously play them. But, you know, in 1992, when I became a GA, I remember my mission in 1992 was to find out when they signaled personnel to go on the field. Okay. So that's how I started as a young assistant GA. And you gather information every week that way, which is totally legal, right? Like we got buddies that play at other teams or conferences, right? But if something was going on off campus, like it's been noted, right, that they were at our games before we played that game last year. That opens up a whole, that's sickening. It's disgusting, right? But I'll let them figure that part out. And I think as coaches, we just got to hold the integrity of the league. Just everybody's got to feel that everybody's playing by the same rules and kind of go forward from there.
I thought Brett Bielema handled that extremely well because not only did he provide an example through his own experiences, on in the situation of, I guess, him experiencing Northwestern when their signals were going over their headsets. But now when you looked at also Northwestern side of it saying, we're not doing this. We're not going to participate in this. Change the headset, put them down. We're playing with integrity. And that's something you can respect coaches to coach and program to program.
The thing that stood out to me was how non-confrontational about it Brett Bielema was being, we don't play him this year. I'm trying to focus on where we're at. The more he kept talking, it got to sickening and disgusting. And I think Brett Bielema, again, having been raised in the Big Ten, like he just seems like a Big Ten guy. I think there's a reason he played in the Big Ten and has coached in the Big Ten as long as he has. Goes back to, I think, what the Big Ten says it wants to stand for, and that collegiality, that integrity in the, we don't do that sort of stuff around here. We know we're Midwest nice. We play the game fair by the rules. And it sounded actually kind of personal to Brett Bielema. Like, not just in a, hey, they did this against my team sort of way, but in a, hey, I've given my whole life to this conference in some form or fashion. Jim Harbaugh was supposed to be one of those guys too.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and he's not living up to that. You can also tell just the respect I think that Brett Bielema has for Pat Fitzgerald. Even with everything else going on, there's still, these coaches will stick together if they demonstrate integrity in moments like that, where they're, feet are to the fire. So to me, it's Brett Bielema taking that as an attack on everything he thought the league stood for.
Yeah. Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the way he addressed it. I thought it was very professional. He was able to get a point across without specifically.
And also without a hot take. Without making this outlandish take that's going to show up on every news cycle and every media outlet. Like that, the ability to make it, as you said, make it personal. I don't want to interrupt you, Stricky, but make it personal, get a point across without crossing that line, and then also being outlandish and over exaggerating is a very big and important characteristic to have as a coach. And we're seeing it with Matt Rule at times. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot of coaches that probably would have addressed it in a different manner, but it does kind of give you a little insight as to what the Big Ten is trying to be about, what they're about as a whole collectively. And I thought that was pretty cool too. Now, I will say that when you look at the totality of it, it looks bad. It's a mire, especially with everything else going on, like you said, with Northwestern and with other programs. Then you had the Penn State situation. I mean, so there are a lot of things that are miring in some instances. Even Michigan State with Mel, and then the gymnastic. Yeah. So you've got a lot of this stuff that's going on, and it's like it's trying to right its ship.
Yeah.
And so how Petitti handles this situation, I think, is going to go a long way as to how the Big Ten is able to reform themselves and to continue to be as Coach Bielema, has addressed themselves.
We also heard there were reports from Nicole Auerbach of The Athletic and throughout various outlets about how the coaches got on the call with Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, and was like, hey, we're frustrated. Like, you need to do something about this. Since you said something about that, Strick, that made me kind of like flip a switch of like, that's an insight on how Big Ten coaches could be feeling, of where they've all had instances, not only where they've legally acquired signs or signals, right? But also in situations like Brett Bielema, where it's like, hey, by the way, this is going on, but we want to handle it more mature and more respectfully than maybe other places would in other conferences.
Yeah,
because that's what the Big Ten is about.
Yeah.
So if a lot of coaches have those experiences, or even a sliver of those experiences, they could feel exactly like Brett Bielema where this is kind of speaking for Big Ten coaches.
It is, and we'll never hear the contents of that call that Harbaugh had to hop off on when Big Ten coaches, the other 13 of them, had the chance to voice their opinions. The reports from that call is that it was emotional. Yeah. It was intense. It was heavy. I didn't get that sense from Brett Bielema in that clip, which tells me that these guys feel a certain way. They feel pretty strongly about it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But they're adults in the public square, right? It's kind of like the coach's locker room where they have their spot to speak their piece, say what's really going on, but then in the public eye, not make a bad situation worse by handling business professionally.
I want to address that part because here's the thing. It's also a life lesson. It's a coaching lesson that I'm sure a lot of these coaches are trying to teach their players to not air out your laundry in the public square. So if I do it, then how could I then impress that upon you? So I think that's a tremendous lesson that he's also teaching his players.
I'm not sure we can pull up the tweet. Can we pull up the Lane Kiffin tweet from Front Office Sports? Everything's bleeped out of it.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's on. If you can pull up my Twitter profile or even Front Office Sports because I retweeted it. Did you guys see the Lane Kiffin stuff today?
I did because you showed me.
That's right. I showed you guys.
No.
You want to talk about an instance of, hey, keep things behind closed doors. Whatever is said behind closed doors needs to stay behind closed doors. This is this Lane Kiffin thing. Now, once again, like Lane Kiffin is about to coach one of the biggest games of his career against Georgia this weekend. Ole Miss and Georgia, right? I think Ole Miss is 9th in the country.
Yep.
So 9-2, Ole Miss.
Game days there.
Potentially could be on the outside of the college football playoff looking in, right? But when you look at this, you have a situation like this arise where a defensive lineman will just went away from the program for over 2 weeks because of mental health issues. Okay. And this does not need to be a conversation of like mental health and the details of it. That's not what we're trying to get into. But you just talked about the lesson with coaching and how they try to instruct their players through what they do, through their actions, right? This could be Lane Kiffin because Lane Kiffin is now under fire and facing a $40 million lawsuit for what he said into this kid, to the player in a closed door meeting between him and his player that his player must have recorded. And Front Office Sports grabbed the audio recording from it.
We are sure all of it's bleeped out.
Yes.
Okay.
If you would have come here when you kept getting messages, the head coach wants to talk to you, and you saying, I'm not ready to talk to him.
I wasn't.
Well, what world do you live in?
I don't see why you gotta be disrespectful, honestly.
Get out of here. Go. You're off the team. You're done. See ya. See ya. Go. And guess what? We can kick you off the team. So go read your rights about mental health. We can kick you off the team for not showing up. When the head coach has to meet with you and you don't show up for weeks, okay, we can remove you from the team. It's called being the It's called hiding behind and not showing up to work.
So there you go. So now Lane Kiffin is facing a $40 million lawsuit from this player because of how he was treated. And so we're hearing about how you never know when there's a microphone, you never know when there's a camera in this day and age of social media. Because yes, Lane Kiffin, we don't know what the ramifications, if there will be any, but now this is something that is a distraction in the middle of one of the most important weeks of your season.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, and it may not go well, but I'm going to be honest about it. This is two parts, and I don't want to say that doesn't sound like the full context of the conversation possibly. So I can't specifically speak to it, but I'm going to say there's probably frustration in it. It's probably a little bit of old school way of dealing with stuff, but also there needs to be some form of accountability from the fact that you just disappear from the scope. Coach reaches out. Where you at?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what's going on. Come talk to me.
Yeah.
And you don't. So you may be upset about it. I understand mental health is a tough issue. It's really hard. I get that.
But at the same time, I have to look at the accountability on the other side, and it has to be some form of, you're an adult now. You're not a child. You're not a kid.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You are, you're an adult. So there's some responsibility I also would assess goes into the player. Again, I don't know the full context of the message.
You're right.
I understand that Lane Kiffin probably was frustrated in some ways because of it. Now, it doesn't seem like Lane Kiffin just jumped off the box and just went in on him. So I'm assuming there's something that was going on before that led to that to go that way. So that's where I would go.
I completely agree with you. It's just the way that Lane
the delivery was bad.
Yeah.
The delivery was bad.
You could have gone about this the everything that you were doing, whatever. Again, we don't know the whole story, whatever. But just the delivery, the way that he handled it in that moment, it being recorded is not good. But the student athlete could be in trouble because I don't know if Mississippi is
you're getting into some hairy things.
What's the
one or two party consent?
One or two party consent state for recordings. So depending on
one party.
It's one party.
Okay. So there you go. So I mean, once again, though, so now Lane Kiffin and his lawyer have filed a motion to dismiss this $40 million lawsuit. But once again, big picture, right, is from a football standpoint,
the timing.
And Matt Rule, as we've seen and heard from Matt Rule, bringing it back to Nebraska's landscape, because I don't want to dive deep on like mental health, and that's not what this conversation's about or what we're trying to make it. Because I think we all agree that there is accountability that needs to be had, but then there's also an importance put on mental health more so than maybe in the last 30 years, right? But anyway, nonetheless, the delivery was not great. It's something that could hurt recruiting down the line. It's something that could just tarnish his image down the line, which it's not like he has the greatest image in his college football coaching career.
Yeah.
And then also there's just situations, once again, we've heard it from Matt Rule time and time again before we get out of here, where it's keep whatever is happening inside the walls inside, right? And from our point of view, it's like, well, gosh dang it, we want to know. We want to know everything that's going on. We want these videos for every time Nebraska wins a game. We want to know the halftime speeches. We want to know the pregame speeches. Yes, we do, but this is an example of if you become too lax and too relaxed and you become just not worried about whatever's being said, go ahead. Just go ahead and let it out. If a player is frustrated on social media, do it. Let's not have a conversation. When you just become too lax about it and you don't make it a point of emphasis to keep it within the walls, things like this can happen and it can become a major distraction for your program.
It just, again, there's a happy middle ground between access and privacy, right? We heard Matt Rule say earlier in the season that this is probably the only year that we'll have the GB rewinds.
Yeah.
He's going to probably nix those, put into it. The positive is what great insight. What a great way to show a different side of the program people don't see. What a tool to use in recruiting. What a way to build your brand. The flip side of that, I wonder if there aren't a handful of players who have been cut out of videos for behavior that we don't see, saying something off. They thought they were clear, it wasn't, or on the flip side of that, even they're walking on eggshells because they know there are always cameras around. They don't feel like they can have that private space to be themselves. Now, on the other side of that, if you take access away, a program built on integrity and doing things the right way, it doesn't matter, right? It's one fewer distraction. They can get down to doing business. But a program that's shady, trying to do some stuff on the DL, when those cameras are taken away, it makes it easier for them to get away with that and not let people read between the lines and say, I wonder if there's something going on here.
I mean, it forces accountability. But it also forces you to be on your P's and Q's 24/7, 365. All right, gentlemen, what's coming up on the show today?
Yesterday, National Signing Day.
Yeah.
First early fall period. So we're going to get into that. A couple interesting men's basketball players. The women get Prince in. Only a two-player recruiting class for Husker volleyball, but they're still loaded. And 4 homegrown Huskers in the baseball class. So we'll dive into some of those aspects. We're playing the shootout. We'll talk some NBA. And have any of you ever misplaced $240 million?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can relate to the University of Arizona.
I actually did, and I would like whoever took it to give it back.
Yeah, I need it back.
That's literally anybody.
We can even split if you just want to bring it back.
Willing to donate
Literally anyone.
No problem.
If you're just willing to give one of us our $240 million back, we'll split it.
Yeah,
we'll make it halfway back.
25.
Hey,
we'll do it.
Oh, no, we were talking 120.
Nick, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Okay, thank you, Rico, for the betterment. We're out. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Strick and Austin coming up next.
Adios. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a